your workout can be adjusted by you. And what I mean by that is if it's too easy, the problem is that you need to challenge yourself within those particular movements. So for example, if you did, let's say, the Bulgarian lunges, right? I know y'all love those. If you did those body weighted and they looked perfect, you knocked them out with perfection, with zero weight, and you're like, yeah, this was easy, big deal, right? Add dumbbells the next time. The next time you do it, if the dumbbells are easy, increase the dumbbells, by 5 pounds, right? So this is where you're going to have to auto-regulate your intensity and your workouts based on how you're feeling. Is the workout need to be harder for you? And what, are you too sore? What's coming up the next day? You're going to have to auto-regulate that. And that is a big piece of us getting into the gym and training in the weight room. And that is really challenging for a lot of newer women when they first start. And that is why a lot of them quit weight training, because they're like, oh, it's really slow. I didn't sweat. My heart rate only got to 110. And I don't think it's a very good workout. I call bullshit. So with your training, if you are finding that the rest of 60 seconds is too long for you, you are not pushing hard enough, likely, in that exercise. And what I want you to think when you're training is, I need to earn my rest. If you go into your workouts and let's just say you're doing the hip thrusters, all right, the 1.5 hip thrusters that we decided to throw at you on day one, and you're like, this is really easy. This 1 minute rest is taking forever. I can watch like 10 TikTok videos in that time, right? Then what's happening is you're likely not challenging yourself enough. If you are putting your muscles under enough tension and strain and you're feeling things start to burn, some muscles burn, some don't. So just know that. Then you're going to want that rest. If you are feeling like, I don't want to rest, I just want to go into the next set, it's probably too late. Now, I bring this up and it's really important because as a personal trainer, we've had my business for almost 20 years now. I've trained thousands of women at this point, in person, online, training audits, all the things. And I can tell when someone is not working to their max capacity, right? So if I have a client in front of me and they're doing a 1.5 hip thrusters, if there is no visible facial expressions that could possibly be happening, a little bit of a weird grimace, or we call them ugly lifting faces. If there's nothing there by like the second, third set, we're too light. We need to increase the weight, right? If form looks good, everything looks great, but by the time we get to 12 reps, you think to yourself, I probably could have did 5 to 10 more. It's definitely too light. The exception to this rule is your warm-ups, right? Your warm-ups are priming your body. They're getting your joints ready to go. You're kind of lubing up the joints with the movement and getting your body ready for what's to come. So we call the warm-ups like a priming movement. Those should not be like a 10, right? Those should not be like poop your pants hard. That should be like a 5, a 6, right? And then as you move into set 2, set 3, set 4, those should get increasingly challenging, right? They should get harder as you move through those sets. So if you're on set 1 and you warm up with, let's say, 50 pounds, was super easy. You got to 12 reps, not a problem. Set 2, maybe set 2 needs to be 60 or 65, something like that. How did you do there? Did you get to 12? 12 was good, was a little challenging. You maybe could have got 4 more reps, 3 more reps. Okay, let's add 5 more pounds for set 3, right? You rest, then set 3 comes, knock out set 3. If that was a grind, right, where you're like, oh God, those last couple reps, I don't know. Then that is your weight that you want to stay at. And then you want to do that for set 4. Then the next time you do this workout, you have a log in your app that you should be using. So because you are not going to remember, I promise you that. You can go back and say, okay, wow, last week I did 50, 60, 70 and 70, right? 50 for set 1, 60 for set 2, 70 for sets 3 and 4. Next week, then you can auto regulate from there. You could say, well, 50 was really, really easy. So let me try 55 or 60. This is what is coined as progressive overload. And this, my friends, is how you change your body. If you're doing the same thing every day and expecting the same or different results, that's what the definition of insanity, right? The same goes for weight training. So that is how I want you to start thinking about your sets when you go in for them and earning your rest. So your rest, you should be looking for that rest. You should be like, I cannot wait to take that 60-second rest because I pushed myself really hard here. Now, I know it can be a little intimidating when you're first starting out and you're doing weight training. You're like, I don't want to hurt myself. I'm scared of getting injured. I will tell you right now, when we used to run boot camp classes, which was like large group, one trainer to 16 to 18 women, right? I did that for many, many years before I switched to a personal training studio. We had so many more injuries from those style of workouts. We had clients like nagging injuries, like nobody got hurt really, but it was like, oh, their back was always bothering, a shoulder thing, they pull a muscle here and there with those high impact, fast pace, move, throw your body on the floor, box jumping, doing all that crazy stuff, because most women were not ready for that, right? They thought they were, and they felt the pressure of the group environment and they wanted to keep up. So they're doing all the things so they don't want to look stupid. That's not how it is with weight training, okay? You're in a machine most of the time, unless you're using a barbell, and the machine is supporting you. It's structured. You have that to brace with. And most of the time, that is going to serve as a great foundation for you to be in proper form. And that is why I love machines. And also barbells serve a place, and dumbbells too. But know yourself, know your level, know where you can add. If something feels off or doesn't feel right, then you just don't do it. Don't add more weight and make it more, more challenging for you. Scale the weight back. And then my advice to you, if you're afraid of going heavier, is scaling that weight back and going slower. Okay. The tortoise always wins the race. With weight training, this is also very, very true. So this is kind of moving into something called tempo training, or, counting your reps. So that way you're going like in a 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. So if you're doing like a bicep curl, right? You're going to go 2 seconds down, 2 seconds up. You are going to put so much tension on that muscle that it is going to fire and it is going to burn. It is going to be screaming at you to take rest. So if you can't go heavy, then your cue is, I'm scared to go heavy. I'm nervous. I don't want to get injured. Your cue is then, I got to slow the F down and really make my muscles work under that time that I'm training, right? That time under tension. So that is my tip for you on lifting.